So this is a bit crazy. This is insanity for a moment. I am going to talk to you. I want to just give you kind of a brief rundown of FOMO3D and how this interacts with Ethereum and how it interacts with proof of weekends, P3D, as well as P3X. And I'll also give you a strategy if you're playing FOMO3D. And the whole purpose in this strategy is to kind of keep you safe. Now, here's what you're not going to get. I'm not going to tell you to get into FOMO3D. If you want to know what FOMO is, it stands for fear of missing out. The reality is if you watch this long enough, you might get FOMO, because I'll be honest with you, I got FOMO and I totally ended up buying into this game. It's a total game. It's a bit of a gambling smart contract DApp, or it's a smart contract built on a DApp. I don't know the best way to say that, but it's pretty crazy what's happening. I played round 1 and I lost in round 2, and there's another version of this called FOMO Quick, and I lost in round 1 of FOMO, or round 2, I think, of FOMO Quick. But round 1 was insanity. I'm going to tell you about round 1 in just a minute. So in round 1, this thing was going off like crazy, and I don't know, I think I got into round 1 when there was already 200 or 300 in of Ethereum in, I cannot remember. But it ballooned all the way up to like, I think 18,000 Ethereum was the final pot. I'm not sure. I knew it was north of 10,000. Someone said this morning in Discord it was 8,000. 18,000, sorry. But this is insane. Yesterday when I made a video, it was at, I can't remember if in my video it was at 98, 99. It was in the 90s, I think, or it might have just been, I don't think I was in the 100 yet. I think it was 90s, like 91 maybe. Because last night I saw it cross over 100. And this morning early, I actually FOMO'd in. I have a lot of P3D, tokens. And if you don't know what P3D tokens are, I'll tell you that in a moment. But I sold my P3D tokens and got into FOMO this morning a little bit. I sold some of my P3D tokens and then got into FOMO. And I'll tell you why. The biggest reason is because I FOMO'd. Like, this thing is growing like crazy. I've already got like 10%. I'll tell you that. I've gotten 10% of my money out already. It's crazy. Like I got 5% of that back in the past 2 hours. It's crazy. It's picking up speed. And when you get this video, if you come to the website is exitscam.me, because the whole play is on exit scamming. It's a play on Ponzi schemes. It's a simulation / gambling game. It's pretty interesting. If you want to know how to play the game, the best thing you can do is come here to I'll put a link down below. It will not be an affiliate link. There is an affiliate link to this, and it can be quite lucrative to promote it. I will not put an affiliate link down because I don't think it's wise to play this game, and I'm not going to encourage anyone to play it because it is addictive. It's crazy. But it's fascinating to watch. It's important to know that there's no company behind this. This is a smart contract that was released by Team Just. That's what makes it unique. There's no one behind the scenes that can mess with this, that can touch this, that can control it at all. So if you want to understand kind of how the rule sets work, it looks a little tiny bit complicated till you start playing. 2 things I would recommend. First, go to the Discord and talk in the Discord. I mean, they are... this is one of the busiest Discords ever, and they are promoting the heck out of this game. These guys are playing this game. Yes, you get to 100. Yes, get to, what's that? 100,000 keys. Buy more keys. Can't. FOMO is too strong. It's hilarious to read what they talk about in here, and sometimes this thing is moving. But let me tell you, I got to catch a FOMO STD hanging around with you guys. It's hard once you get in here. It's hard to even get out of the forum sometimes, the Discord sometimes, because it's so active. I can tell you this much. In round 1, this thing was so active, like it was impossible to participate. It was just like moving up. Like you couldn't even respond to anything. You couldn't see anything. It was ridiculous. What's that say? I remember when some people would FOMO when ETH investment was less than 15,000. Oh, 15 ETH. People got into this thing when it was less than 15 ETH. They've made their money 3 or 4 times over. And I'm going to give you a strategy here in a moment. So here's basically what you're doing. You're buying keys, and as you're buying keys, the last key basically will win the pot. But every key you buy adds 30 seconds to the clock at a max of 24 hours. But every key that you buy, the reason people keep buying keys is because you earn dividends from keys that are bought after your purchase. So there's 2 ways to play this game. One is to get in early, to go in as big as you can with huge caution because this thing can end at any time within 24 hours. Go in and then earn the dividends from the keys. As long as it doesn't end and it keeps growing and people keep buying keys, you're going to get your investment back and then some. And I'll cover that strategy here in a moment. But let me just tell you what happened in round one. This thing was blowing up. I remember one morning rolling over and in bed and looking at my phone, because when I went to bed, this thing was growing. I looked at my phone and my phone showed that I had earned like $100 or $103 or something like that. And I thought, wow, that's crazy. In Ethereum, of course. And back then, by the way, Ethereum was like between $300 to $500 per Ethereum back then. So it's so much, Ethereum is so much cheaper now, which I think means this thing could possibly, there's a slim chance, but it could possibly go even further than the last one on an Ethereum basis. But because Ethereum is so much cheaper. And I may do a whole video on why I think this may go on for a long time, the pros and the cons to the round 9 versus round 1. But I thought that I had like done something like $100 sleeping, and I made $100 the next morning. I was like, wow. The very next morning, I woke up to $1,500. And I had a small investment in this thing. Like, I could not believe it. It was going nuts. It was crazy. One of the things that happens is when people buy keys, not only do dividends go to the other key holders down here, because if you buy keys, you'll have X amount. By the way, I'm not logged into MetaMask. I don't want you to know. I'm not trying to encourage you by what I have, what I've earned. I'll give you percentages. Someone said, oh, you should, someone in Discord said, oh, you should make a video and show all your keys. No. Listen, the most fascinating thing about this is understanding how incredible dApps and smart contracts are in this space. Don't for a minute think that I'm encouraging you to play. I'll tell you how excited it is, and if you've got a gambling streak, you can play. That's your business. But it's more important to watch this if you don't know what smart contracts are all about. It's worth watching. So, and understanding how complex and unique smart contracts can be. So this FOMO3D is a smart contract. Every time you buy a key, part of the dividends goes to other key holders. Part of the dividends go to P3D holders, proof of weak hands holders. So remember, if you've seen one of my videos, you know how proof of weak hands works. Every buy, sell, and transfer of the P3D token charges a 10% fee. That 10% fee gets distributed to all other token holders. Well, last month, for example, my P3D tokens earned me, I want to say it was 0.1%, which was nothing. But FOMO feeds P3D. In round 1, I had days where I made 7% on my P3D tokens. The P3D contract, the P3D exchange went up to from like 20,000 Ethereum in the contract all the way up to like 80,000 Ethereum in the contract. It was insanity. It was unbelievable. I was hitting the reinvest as quick as I could. And now I don't use the P3D token. Now I use the P3X token. The P3X token, by the way, is tethered to the P3D. It basically operates the exact same way because it's tethered to the original contract. The total P3D supply will always be equal to the total P3X supply will always be equal to the P3D bought by this contract. P3X will always be equal to P3D price. Dividends per P3X token is the same as P3D. The biggest difference is P3X doesn't charge a transfer fee. And I like the layout of their exchange, the UI, the user interface of their exchange a lot better. Here's their exchange. I really like this a lot because it lets you know at the same time how many P3X tokens you have, how much Ethereum you have, and how much USD you have. It does the calculations for you very simply. And I love that. It also shows you your dividends earnings, and you can easily just click reinvest all dividends. You can reinvest partial dividends. And so I really like this layout better. Again, I do have P3X tokens, and I'm going to be getting more P3X tokens. So why did I sell my P3D? Well, the real reason is because I FOMO'd the freak in. That's why. And I'm currently glad that I did, because at this rate, I'm going to be made whole soon. And I'll share that strategy with you. The reason that I used my P3D is because I went to, I didn't want to use the account that I normally do on Coinbase. So I was going to use a different account. But by the time I moved money from that account, it was going to take a day or two to move the money. and I was going to be getting charged fees already through like the exchanges, Coinbase, etc. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to be getting charged fees anyway. I've got to move in. I was going to end up paying when it was all said and done with probably 3 or 4 or 5% in fees, and I was going to have to wait a day or two to get it all done, maybe longer. So I thought, okay, pay 10% fee now, sell my P3D tokens out of the P3D exchange because I don't like this exchange as much as P3X. So I'll take that hit. I'll go into FOMO and I'll start withdrawing 100% or take profit 100% until I'm made whole. I'll use that to buy P3X tokens. And now I had already once considered selling out of P3D, taking the 10% hit just to go back into P3X, which is another 10% hit, by the way, because it's 10% for every buy, every sell. But FOMO, if I get 100% of my profit back and I'm well on my way, then it's not going to take very much to cover the fees, and then I'll be 100% into P3X, which I would rather be 100% into P3X. I'm willing, by the way, I will put a link, kind of what they call a masternode link or an affiliate link for P3X down in the description of this video. By the way, if you're just curious how much I actually earn if you buy P3X tokens, it's not a lot. For every $100, I make like $3. For every $100 in tokens you buy, I make like $3. So it's not a lot, but it's something, I guess. I'll put that down below. Just keep in mind, again, not financial advice. Everything in crypto is a risk. The biggest reason I'm not going to tell you about, the biggest reason I'm not going to put a link for FOMO3D is because it's just straight gambling, and it's so addictive. It is more addictive than anything I've ever seen. The word FOMO is real. Here's what happens with, here's the strategy I'm going to give you. And by the way, I've got a video coming out about the Midas masternode exchange coming up, but I wanted to get this out because it's just moving so fast. Here's a strategy, and I've already covered it, but I'll make it simple. Come in as big as you can with the money that you don't mind throwing away, because it literally can end in 24 hours. So you may not get hardly any of your money back. However, keep taking profit 100% of the time until you get your money back, and then do a 50% reinvest, you know, and there's not a 50% button or anything like that. So what you have to do is, you know, every ETH or every half ETH or every 1/10 of an ETH, whatever, you know, every 0.1 ETH, do a reinvest. Every 0.1 ETH, do a withdrawal. So and that's only after you've been made whole. And the only reason I would reinvest, you would reinvest as long as you think this is going to go much further. I'm just want to do a refresh to see if this has gone up. Sometimes it doesn't change in real time. Okay. Sometimes these numbers and this doesn't change in real time. Sometimes the interface kind of hangs up a little bit. But what I would recommend that you do is, if you think it's got more life in it, then keep doing a 50% reinvest. The reason I tell you to go in as big as you can, in other words, if you're like, hey, I'm going to put $50 into this, you don't dollar cost average that $50 in, because the keys that you buy early are cheaper and earn far more dividends than the keys that you will sell, that you will buy later. So what I recommend that you do is come in, if it's $50, if it's $5, whatever it is, or if it's 1 ETH or a half an ETH, whatever. What you do is you just take that, you go ahead and go in with it, and then do 100% take profit, and then do a 50% reinvest. I don't even recommend doing a 50% reinvest from the start. And the reason is because be made whole first. Now understand it's a risk. So if you only get half of it back, you only lost half of it. And if you get 100% of it back, great. Now you can just do a straight take profit, and you can just keep taking profit, or you can keep reinvesting, knowing that this thing may go on potentially to 200, 500, 1,000, 10,000. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. There's always this taunt thing down here. That's funny. And the way you buy ETH, by the way, is you come down here and the way you buy keys, you just select the number of keys you want to buy. And I think you can manually enter it in too. Yeah, you can manually enter it in. So every key right now is worth 0.002. Now, something interesting. Someone said something in Discord, and I'm not certain. So in the comments, if you're familiar with FOMO3D, you can explain this to me. Someone said this in the Discord. I always thought key prices for FOMO went up like this. and the prices gradually got steeper and steeper and steeper, kind of causing an end. And I'm pretty sure they do in the short version, but somebody said that it actually did this. Somebody said it actually did this. Sorry. Okay. Somebody said in long, the keys actually did something more like this. And the longer the game went on, it kind of slowed down and plateaued right here. I don't know. I mean, I can't read the contract. I don't know the answer to that. So if you know the answer to that, please put it down in the comments. It would be interesting to know. If that's the case, therefore, it's easy why I can see why it makes so much sense to try to get in early. That makes total sense why guys try to get in so early. And the reality is, no one knows, but we could be very early right now. I'm going to be doing a follow-up video after I do my Midas Masternodes video on where I review Midas, the Midas platform. You can see a link down below for the Midas platform, but you can also subscribe to this channel to see that video coming up on my new Masternode series. But I'm also going to create a round 9 FOMO3D series. This will be the first video. The second video, I'm going to talk about why this may go on for a really long time. And I'm also going to talk why it might not go on for a really long time. But the crazy thing about P3D and F3D is that they run on the Ethereum blockchain. And P3D, I don't know the best way to say it, but they're both like smart contracts. F3D basically is built to interact with P3D, and then P3D pays dividends in Ethereum. The crazy thing is F3D, FOMO3D, pays dividends in Ethereum, and it pays dividends to P3D. Oh, part of my strategy, by the way, my take profit. So when I start taking profit, 50%, when I start doing my reinvest, 50% reinvest, 50% take profit, my 50% take profit goes back to P3X. The last time, what a lot of people were doing is some people sold P3X tokens or P3D tokens. It's the same, it's one and the same. They operate the same way. Some people sold their P3D or P3X tokens, and the reason they sold the tokens is because they wanted to buy the FOMO. So that created a 10% fee, and then people started making profits, and some people were making huge profits, and they were reinvesting back into P3D, in this case P3X. So I think it's possible if this continues to grow, if it gets to 300, 500, 1,000, and then listen, since last night, it's not even 24 hours, it's went up 50%, which is just insanity. I mean, it's insanity. If this continues to grow, then we may end up getting a nice pump out of P3D and P3X, which means there's going to be some nice dividends. Who knows if that's going to happen yet? Stay tuned. This is the current smart contract saga. Let's wait and see what happens. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, put them down in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them. Thank you for watching. In the comments, you'll see a link, by the way, to the Midas investment platform for masternodes. I'll also put a link down there for a non-affiliate link for this website, which is exitscam.me/play. And I'll also put a link down there for P3X if you are looking to purchase P3X tokens. Thank you so much for watching. This, ladies and gentlemen, is part of the cryptocurrency revolution. Have a great day.